Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It's December 28th, and it might be time for me to retire my cap for a little bit. I'm going to go out and do an update, and I've got to move all my citrus back out because last night or this morning it was 34, but it's going to be warming up in the evenings now. But I wanted to show you, I brought all these in, and these weren't really treated for fungal gnats. And some of them's kind of what I'd say are struggling, and then some don't like it in here with the warmth where you can see all the leaves are dropped off. They're in need of some water. They're just protecting themselves. And so these will all be moved out. They'll be watered, and they'll be treated with some natural, which has BTI in it, and it'll get rid of the fungal gnat problem. But I seen a few of them flying around, so I went ahead and I took all my little yellow strips and hung them up. I'd catch a few, but you can see how many there are. There was probably hundreds of them in here, even though you don't see them. They're here, and that means there's a lot of larvae in with these. So what I'm going to do is I'll be moving these out today. I'll treat them with some natural, then I'll go ahead and water them. That'll water it into the soil more, and then I'll treat them a little bit more. They say fungal gnats are normally in the top inch of soil level. I don't know, but I'll make sure that if they're in there, that the bacteria will be able to get there and kill them. But anyway, I'm going to be moving these out, and we're going to take a look out in the garden and see how things survived out there. Now, I'm out here in the main garden. The sun's starting to come up. As you can see, we have a lot of stuff covered up. And we have some stuff that we decided not to, and you can see what happened to it. I mean, it's just didn't survive. We have our chives. They'll come back, but they're burnt down. Our peas, we knew these weren't going to survive, and definitely they didn't. But we don't know what survived under cover. In our greenhouse here, we had covered up our beds. We had our little transplants down. Most of them did pretty good. But as you can see, some of our cabbage or Napa and Chinese cabbage didn't fare good. The ones right at the end here didn't, and everything from the west end seemed like for some reason it didn't fare good at all. And it might be because the sun gets to it later or something. Or celery, this here should come back, but all this other down here is definitely toast, just like these. I think this was maybe the Blues variety cabbage. It might come back. Some of these in the middle are still probably alive. They'll be a little bit behind. These in here seem to fare pretty good. Our herbs seem to do good. Now we'd covered our rosemary, but one day forgot to uncover it, so it got more situation from the heat, but it still seems to be good and healthy. It's going to take a little bit for it to come back. We had covered the oregano. You can tell around the edge where it got really cold that it did try to do it in. The sage, it looks like it got damaged, but it's still alive. Catnip, it's going to be hard to say. And the lavender looks like it's unaffected. So lavender apparently can take a pretty cold temperature. But this was one of the surprising things. We didn't cover our garlic. Now, I think this should recover. It should have enough energy from the bottom to come back. But we're going to see that, and the leak that's down at the end, that freeze hit it pretty hard. Inside the large greenhouse, which it was staying a few degrees warmer during that cold, the little one got down to 9, this one got down to 12. Of course, the sensors are, it's up there in the air about 6 foot, so the ground would have been a little bit warmer. We took and uncovered these yesterday. Same with the little greenhouse, because it was only getting down to 34 last night, or supposed to. And these did fair. The older Muscovy mix versus the newer one, it seemed like it had got a little more damage. It could have been because the cloth was just a hair off the ground. And of course, the bok choy, it was done in. Of course, it was time to get rid of it. Now, some of these down here, which this is the endives, they look like they got hit pretty good, and the arugula looks like it might have got done. But most of the lettuces are doing pretty good. They hadn't grown much while they were covered up. Now, these were some lettuces down here. I think these were romaines. They've got hit, but I think they'll be all right. The carrots really fared good. Remember, we didn't put any hoops here. We just laid some protection over the top. Now, this bare spot, this was small basil. It knocked it out completely, which I didn't know that it would survive. This bok choy over here looks pretty rough. It's probably going to have a problem too. And it did do a little damage to the cilantro, but it held up pretty good inside the greenhouse here. The wind had taken off about 5 of the row covers the first night, and we caught them. It was dark and it was starting to get cold. I'm thinking maybe it was below freezing, but it wasn't that cold. But this one come off a couple nights ago, and when I looked at it the next day, I said, well, it's toast. These were the fennel that was up here, and then these other ones. I'm thinking we had some more cabbage, different types of Chinese cabbage, and they didn't make it. Now, I don't know if the ones that's under the very end, if there's anything made it there. Now, the chamomile, it froze pretty good, but you can see there is some life there, so chances it'll come back. Definitely the cilantro that was outside had it's definitely toasted it, which I knew it would. Now I'll get to uncovering these beds, and then we'll see how things fared that were covered. And the news isn't good. This is the collards. Now the plants look like they'll survive, but the leaves are heavily frostbit, which is going to be a problem there. Now, a lot of the spinach, which wasn't that great of a crop anyway, definitely its leaves are frostbit, so it's going to have to recover. The lacinato kale, it's toast. It's going to have to all be replaced. Now the onions too, they've got a bit hard now. It's very possible they'll grow right back from the bottoms. They'll just be set back some. And we had some cabbages down here, a few, and they'll be toast. Now this leek here fared better than that wasn't covered, but it did get burnt. And this leek over here that was put in the ground just a little earlier, it still looks like it should recover. Now these cabbages, I might harvest these small heads and pull some leaves, and it might be good in the center. I'll just have to see, but it's got a problem. Now the older onions, they got hit hard, even though they was covered. There's still some green. These should come back from the bottom and have plenty of time as long as they don't get attacked anymore by some extreme cold. The beets, they definitely are hit back to the ground. So these are going to be, they will come back from the beet, but it might be best just to go ahead and harvest these and preserve whatever beets and put out something new. The broccoli has been hit hard. Those that had heads, the heads are definitely gone. They're not salvageable. This is one that got hit first, but its head is definitely it's going to have to go to the compost. Get the rest of these uncovered. After we got the rest uncovered, this is some more leek right here, and then it gets into the onions, which they're looking rough. We'll see if they come back. This is some of the garlic that was over here, our nodule bed that we was running a test on. We're going to see. There's a good chance that should recover. In here we had broccoli and such. It didn't make it. On this row here, now the cilantro, it is a little bit of damage to it, but it looks like it'll pull through. These onions, they should come back. This row here was the one that we showed that was uncovered. All this one, collards and what all, it's gone. Our one with our beets and stuff, it's gone. Some more lacinato kale, and then some other vegetables. They're all gone. Our turnips, now they've definitely got hit, and it's going to be just as good to go ahead and give up on them and replant them. Same thing here with the mustard. Now the mustard, where we had extra row cover and stuck it under, and it was close to the ground like that, it kind of pulled through. The radishes would probably come back, but they're all piffy now. They're real soft because they've frozen. Around here, our radicchio, it's gone. It'll have to be pulled up. Our carrots, they look like they've got a pretty good hit. We'll see. They should recover. Most of them look like they should recover. We'll just get down in here and start get some water to the things that we think that's going to hold up. And then of course our carrots in our other bed, in the other garden, they look like they're pretty much toast. So I'm sure it's not an enjoyable thing, but it's all part of gardening. Even though we did go to the trouble to do the protection, we did learn a little bit more this year as far as we survived down to -7 one year. Of course, it snowed that same time on our row cover. So we know if we're going to get down to close to 9 degrees, pretty much there's only a few things that we'll protect next time, which will be onions. We will do garlic and stuff. And I hope you learned from this video. And if you want to see more and you're not subscribed, just hit that subscribe button, click the bell, make sure you're going to get all the notifications, and of course give it a big thumbs up and share this video. It really helps my channel. Enjoy your gardening experience.